Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 255. This one discussing the last two episodes of Fiveman, and I'll get my final thoughts on Fiveman, and a bit of a confession when it comes to this stuff for Super Sentai. In these last two episodes, basically, we have it where in episode 47, where Velmir is beginning its molting phase. Yep, beginning its molting phase. And also there's a subplot in here where the five men are getting contact with their parents for the first time they've actually talked to them since episode 1. Yep. So they're trying to get contact with them. It seems like it's going through, but it's being blocked by the aura of the Valor. Yep. So in order to delay its molting, basically, Go and Cavalier decided to basically battle the five-man Douglas. Excuse me. His job to do is to get a bunch of water. Fill this tank with whatever this goo stuff is. It's kind of gross, but this is what we got here. So, yeah. So the five-man pretty much defeat the Gingaman aliens. They're beating pretty easily. I'm like, wait. If they're that easy, why the heck do they have a tough time dealing with these guys a lot of the time? And why couldn't these people be destroyed earlier? Yeah, I thought this was kind of stupid. Like, you had these people just stick around for like 20 episodes, not do much anything at all, fighting them, and now it's time to kill them off? Like, here's the thing about these five guys. There was nothing to these guys at all. They were just basically flunkies for Cavalier. Cavalier, I thought, was a lot more interesting of a character than these guys were. These guys were just boring. It's like, they did practically nothing. It's like, they haven't done anything since like episode 9 when they call themselves the Ginga Man. And after that, they weren't seen again until episode 28, where they basically become Cavaliers flunkies. Yep. And of course, Cavalier summons a Black Orin. He gets destroyed by first it's basically the restored 5 Robo, and then of course the Star Cruiser comes in. They merge from one more time the Super 5 Robo. And eventually that's destroyed. Cavalier, of course, drags along 5 Red for a chain deathmatch, which interesting idea. Of course, he has that. Here's the thing about his thing with 5 Red. This has been brought up occasionally where he basically really wants to fight 5 Red. He did it pretty much at the start, and then he just doesn't do anything with it all. I'm like, really? After a good long while, he's defeated, and his essence is absorbed by the Vulgar to become a monster. Yes, they see it in episode 47. And then by 48, it goes on a rampage, and the 5 Robo tries fighting the creature, fails, and they merge to form the Max Magma, which I believe is the first time this thing has been used since like episode 29, I think it was, when they had the first combination. Which is interesting, the fact they've only used that particular thing twice. Yeah. Also that the base's weapons is the second time it's been used. So not even this thing's gonna be basically Magma Base is virtually destroyed. Yeah, they destroyed the base. It's basically it's not fully destroyed. It's in pieces, yes, but nothing is done with it. So then the contact finally by the parent to get through. So apparently the weakness is a Selden flower. Meanwhile, though, the kid Tatsu, who basically honed this flower at this point for about, it first showed up back that in fact he had it since episode 44. That's a little bit of a build, and they use this thing to basically go inside Vulgar, and of course, Agora's like, hey, Cavalier's dead. I'm the captain of the Vulgar now. He sits in his captain's chair, which is like a glass thing. And you have 5 Man going to the room. The strategy room, they have all make all the dastardly plans. Which, if you're curious though, did they do this in Turbo Ranger, you might ask, which was the previous series? I'm trying to remember. I think they did, because I know they did it several times in the 80s, except for like one season. Yeah, there was actually one season of the show where they did not do this. I'm trying to remember if they did or not. don't think they did. I have no idea if they did or not when they went to the Sky Castle. Yeah, I don't remember if in fact they actually did go to the Bulma Castle. Actually, I think they do in this one. I believe they do. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, do they do it in Live Man? Yes, I know if I can do it in Live Man. Mask Man, yes. Flashman, yes. Changeman, yes, they do. Bioman, yes. Dynaman, surprisingly, no. Go 5, yep. Sun Vulcan, yes. Dentiman, yes. Fiber J, yes, dude, in the last episode. Jock, yep. Go Ranger, yep. So far, but what about the one that comes after this one? Jetman, do they do in that one? Kinda, but they never go to the strategy room. But they do about a little over half of the series, not toward the very end, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I'll talk more about that in a minute. So they go inside, and of course they discover what the whole motive of this episode. She's not the Galactic Empress dog. She is, some ordinary girl, which the ship fell in love with her. How, it's never actually explained. It from the way it's shot, it looks weird. You have a spaceship in love with a woman. I'm like, what the heck is this? It seems like so freaking stupid idea. Well, it's a galactic beast. But galactic, now, I gotta hand it to Modu. Beautiful woman, I can see why, but it just looks kind of like, it looks weird. And they free the spirit, and eventually the body decays. Captain Gore gets trapped in the actual casket. Doug goes to clean out the vault, and he gets trapped there. Oh, by the way, when they found Gogoro, they're fighting near the fusion machine, which is the first time it's been seen since episode 29. And nobody says anything about this machine at all. Like, the Fiveman say nothing. Like, they don't even look at the damn thing. I'm like, really? So, you bring the set piece back. Well, it kind of was seen back in episode 33, but first time looked like this since episode 29. And I'm like, you don't make a note of the fact this is the fusion machine? And I'm like, why? Oh, by the way, the machine is completely damaged, but yet basically it gets destroyed along with the frickin' ship. So the way to destroy the ship is they have the kid who will get the flower, hold in his hand, and blast their way right through the Volga, and he gets destroyed. Okay. Then, of course, they go back to the kids, and they go back up to space, basically reunite with parents. And that would have been interesting to see in the thing, but no, we have the credits roll, and we have them flying up to see their parents, but not reunite with them. That would have been interesting to see. I'm sure a lot of people basically who watched this one was very disappointed with that. But this was definitely a good finale. I think the finale is okay at best. It's not terrible. But it's just kind of weird, though. We're basically ripping off Changeman again. Yeah. Where, like, we go inside the actual boss, and it's basically this thing. But hey, at least if the spaceship was actually a monster. I'm like, this whole idea of somehow the base becoming a monster, that is also reused for Jetman. But it's one minor thing. But this series overall was actually pretty good. I actually kind of enjoyed it. There's some episodes I wasn't really a big fan of at all. I kind of thought episode 41 was terrible. Yeah. But final thoughts on Fiveman. Interesting series. I'm not going to show what Volker looks like in beast form. You have to basically watch the damn thing, or probably look in the range of what the heck the thing looks like under its monster form. But yeah, it's like, what a revelation we have for it. And by the way, Gore is defeated by the Rangers as well. He's basically trapped in a freaking glass coffin, and Doug was killed by collapsing debris. Yeah. Okay, now my confession about this whole idea for this stuff for Super Sentai. when I originally started watching Super Sentai back in 2016, I was not interested in looking at basically the series that came before Zoo Ranger. I was not interested at all. I had no interest at all in it. I thought basically the stuff would be not that interesting to watch. But you're probably thinking, then what hooked me onto this era of Super Sentai? Go Kaiger. When it brought up stuff like Go Ranger, Jack, and Live Man. This got me, like the whole thing with Live Man, that got me interested in this era. And then look up basically like what happens, like basically what these suits look like yeah, they look different from basically what we see nowadays, but I grew to enjoy it. And this is the last one to watch, that last one I had left that aired before the start of Power Rangers. This is the last one. And you probably would think, like, what would be the very next series? Basically, we have to show up what the suits look like because a lot of these things were adapted for Power Rangers. I'd probably say the next one probably either would be, well, it won't be Go Busters because that was already adapted for Beast Morphers. It'd probably be Tokuger or Cure Ranger. That is loosely adapted, but the suits never brought that up. But those two probably ones basically would probably be the ones where, or there's some others basically not adapted Power Rangers yet, but it's a small handful. But oh, and by the way, in the case of Die Ranger suits, they have been seen in Power Rangers already in Super Megaforce. Yep. But you probably think, okay, since normally next you probably think, oh, is Cocker Ranger next because you've already covered Jetman, Zoo Ranger, and Diamond? No, that will be after my next series discussed, which would be Baka Ranger, which was adapted for Power Rangers Overdrive. But before that, I'm going to go through two Kamen Rider series. And the reason why I'm discussing these two first because they're the last of the show era. First starting with Kamen Rider Black. Yes, I've heard a lot of interesting things about this one, so I've heard this one's quite interesting, a bit underrated for a Kamen Rider series, but I'm looking forward to check it out. Okay? But that's pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned for tomorrow, probably for my reviews of that one, and that's probably going to be it for that one. Probably one or two Kamen Rider reviews, okay? Next video tomorrow. Bye.